I got up in the morning, looked out the hotel window, and the sky was black. And there was lightning flashing and thunder was rumbling, and I knew that you couldn't call it, but I thought we would need an ark to get there. The walk from the car, the water was half knee-deep.
It has been very seldom that the Texas OU game has had rain. The 1984 game was certainly an exception to that rule because it didn't rain, it poured. Driving into the stadium, I thought it would be empty. There was not one seat available. I'd never seen people sit in the rain and watch a game like that and cheer and scream and fight.
The field was soaked, the players were soaked, and the fans were soaked. But the water couldn't douse the fire of the Red River rivalry. Driving rain that lasted for 3 hours had turned the artificial turf at the Cotton Bowl into an ice rink.
I talked to Gary Gibbs, who was the defensive coordinator. We both said we have got to start running north and south. We can't run the option today. You can't stand up.
The difficulty of controlling the ball was evident as the game included 2 safeties as each team suffered bad snaps that sailed over the punters' heads.
Out of the end zone. That ball was so high, the 7-foot kicker could not have got that.
Early on, Texas would best the weather.
He's got a man wide open. Touchdown, Texas. Bill Boy Bryant.
That score plus a Jeff Ward field goal would give Texas the early 10-0 lead. Running back Steve Sewell would dominate, scoring on runs of 5 and 12 yards.
Outside Joe Sewell, touchdown.
Leading 15-10 in the fourth quarter, OU would intentionally take a safety, allowing Texas to cut the lead to only 3 points. The Longhorns took over at their 44.
Over the middle, Harris has got it. First down at the Oklahoma 21-yard line.
The Longhorns went for the end zone. OU defensive back Keith Stansbury intercepted in the end zone, but that day, the refs saw it differently.
84 was a horrible game because the outcome was not legitimate. I mean, Keith Stansbury intercepted the pass in the last minute. Game over, Oklahoma wins, except, the referee calls it incomplete.
That incomplete pass into the end zone set up Jeff Ward's 32-yard field goal attempt on the final play.
Kick is up. It is good. It's a 15-15 tie.
That may be the worst tasting game for both sides because Sooners had to walk away thinking, we know we won this game. Texans had to walk away saying, we didn't play to win, and we didn't win.
Yeah, that old saying is like kissing your sister is true. But at that point, I thought that was our only option.
At one point in the fourth quarter, we went for 2 and we didn't make it. In the dressing room after the game, I told Coach Switzer, I'm really sorry about the 2-point play. And he said, it was a great game. Don't worry about it. Let's move forward.
He had nothing to apologize about. The offense did their job. The defense did their job, but it was a couple of official calls that blew 2 plays. The last 4 plays of the ball game, there were 2 calls that were horrendous and gave the game for a tie for Texas.
It was something that affected him too, because I could tell when you're at Oklahoma, that's the only game that matters.